everyone, so an update on where I'm at using Dispatcher within JMRI to automatically run trains. I can successfully get it to run a single train back and forth, and it changes the points, runs it along the top line into the sidings and back through the bottom line and into the station, and that works fine. I then tried to introduce two trains, and this is where I'm beginning to have some problems. I think it's to do with the fact that it can't seem to cope with trying to change the throttle on more than one train at once, but I can't believe that that is an issue with the system itself or a limitation of the software. So I'll hope to sort of demonstrate that on this video, as well as a couple of other things that I've managed to find and resolve. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that I created this track plan in JMRI quite a while ago. I used it myself for being able to click and change signals. As you can see here, I can set that signal to green, I can set it to yellow, red, I can set the indicator box on the signal, and this works with a touchscreen. If I choose to use a touchscreen, I can also change points in here as well, just by obviously selecting the points. So I've used the track plan before I even thought about automation. But what I had noticed, and I'll hope to sort of link to a video that I took briefly, is that some of the track plan wasn't actually joined correctly, so you can't connect turnout points to other turnouts without a track segment between them, and it's obviously important that that's set up correctly when it comes to automation. So that was one issue that I had faced. So now the way that I have this set up in Dispatcher is that I will create a new train, and then I've saved a file, and depending on which direction the trains are running in, there is a separate file, either platform to siding or siding to platform, for the two trains that I have. So to begin with, if I set the 156 from siding 2 to platform 1, these are the values that I've pre-selected. It just mentions where the train's going from and to. I then use this terminate when done, so when it reaches the platform it will stop and then it will load the next file, which is just the route back. And the reason why I've done it like that is because the journeys are different between going into the station and coming out of the station. It follows a different route. We run the train automatically and just run it at 40% speed using the speed profile to slow the train down. So if I create that, the train should automatically run. Now on the track plan I've managed to find the option so that it indicates the route that it will take, and that train will now work its way along the route to the safe point, which it's doing. And as you can see, it's reached the safe point and has correctly stopped, which is just before the signal as it heads down towards the station. But the reason why it stopped there is because there is currently the 158 Sprinter just in the station, just there, and so that is correct, that it would stop because the route is not clear. And just briefly on JMRI, you can see here that the 156 is here, the 158 is in the platform, so it's being held, waiting for the route to become available. Now, to try to prove my point about running multiple trains, what I will do is I will manually run the 158 out of the station, and the 156 will enter the station and will hopefully correctly stop at the right point. However, if I was to run the 158 as an automated train, what I tend to find is if it's changing the throttle of the 158, which it may not be doing if it's running out through here and the 156 runs in and that works fine, but if it was to be here and slowing it down, the 156 will continue and end up hitting the buffers at the end. And I've proven this many times by running a single train back and forth, no problems. I've run each of them separately, no problems. As soon as I run the two trains, it seems to struggle to stop the train in time. And I think from the logs I can see that it's changing the throttle of one of the trains but not the other when it needed to. So running the 158 out here, and the 156 has now moved off and should correctly stop at a suitable point within the station without any problems. So it stopped a bit early, but it hasn't hit the buffers, which is the main thing. Now bear with me as I tried to demonstrate this just using my phone as a camera. I don't have multiple cameras set up to do this. But what I'll do is I'll run the 158 into the station from here first. And while that's running in, I'll set the 156 to run into the station as well. Now we proved before that if there is a train in the station, the 156 correctly stopped before the signal without any problems. But what will happen is that as the 158's moving and it begins to slow down for the station, the 156 will follow it once the route is clear. But because it's busy slowing the 158 down, it doesn't seem to slow the 156, and then we end up with it entering the same block and it will run into the back if it's still got the right speed of the 158 that's in the platform. And I haven't worked out how to resolve this yet, so I'm hoping that maybe somebody might be able to explain to me how I can get it to work with multiple throttles much quicker than it seems to be doing at the moment. So I'll set the 158 to go. As you can see, that's allocated, and we'll set the 156 to go at the same time. Obviously the 156 can't go until the 158 has cleared. Now it allocates as far as there because this is the safe block where the trains would normally pass, as it's now allocated the rest. The 158 is correctly heading to the station, and the 156 is now due to follow it. So the 158 will stop correctly if it's not manipulating the throttle of the 156, but at this point the 156 is not slowing, and it should be, and it would be if it wasn't working with the 158, and now it begins to slow it down. And to avoid a scene of devastation, I'm going to stop the video. So looking back at JMRI, it expects the 156 to be in this yellow allocated section here, but obviously it's overrun and is in the same section as the 158 in the platform. That seems to only happen when it's working with multiple throttles at one time, and I think I've proven that I can successfully run the trains individually. I can even run them so that they are stopped, but whenever it has to manipulate two throttles at one time, it seems to overrun, and that is the problem that I'm currently trying to understand. Now, whether it's relevant or not, I don't know yet, but this is a log of the MRC or Prodigy Advanced connection to JMRI, and I think this really shows that it's working with one throttle. So this is obviously set the 156 to speed of 50, but then every record after that in this particular log shows the 158 until much further down where it stopped the 158 and begins to work with the 156. But between those times, here there is a delay of essentially 5 seconds, and it's probably how far the train is travelling between where it should be slowing down and where it actually slows down. So I'm sort of pleased with my progress so far, being able to run automated trains. The fact that a single train can run automated without any real problems, changing the points back and forth, different routes. I'm quite pleased to see that. It would just be nice to be able to resolve this issue, because I think that's really where I want to go with this, to be able to have these two trains so that they don't collide here in the station, but they're left to run and pass each other appropriately, which is where I'm almost at. Just can't seem to resolve this final issue. If anyone has any advice, please let me know. Thanks for watching.